Behold, while movie sequels have existed since 1916, the sequel truly took hold in the 1970s with films such as The Godfather Part 2, French Connection 2, and Jaws 2, A Bigger Boat. As time wore on, Hollywood realized the more successful the original, the more marketable the sequel. The skies clouded over, and the studios began to make it rain.
That's how you get ants!
The conceit of this show means I'm stuck watching the movies we've all heard are bad, so I'm going to take this opportunity to bask in a great movie. How awesome is Jurassic Park? God, it's so good. Even 25 years later, it's not just watchable, it's a go-to movie when you can't think of anything else to watch. For a Michael Crichton technological morality play, it sticks to the basics. Alan Grant loves dinosaurs and hates children. He's trapped on an island with murderous dinosaurs tasked with saving 2 kids. The rest is just as simple. The power is off, turn it back on, avoid being eaten. You could have done this with anything. Lions, tigers, zombies. In the meantime, the philosophical questions about the advancement of technology spends plenty of time being pondered. It makes its point, it made tons of money, so of course the studio greenlit a second one. But it's true what they say about lightning never striking twice. Let's see if we can find anything nice to say about the Lost World Jurassic Park. Michael Crichton wrote The Lost World Jurassic Park, the book, a sequel to the original. I don't remember that book very well, but I think the movie was a pretty loose adaptation. Both Jurassic Parks start the same way. There's an accident on the island involving the dinosaurs that requires an investigation. In the original, it's a worker getting killed by a velociraptor when they are transferring her to the enclosure. In The Lost World, it's a little girl being swarmed by
Compsognathus.
What she said. As in the original, Spielberg blends practical and digital effects. The swarm is terrifying. It's a new dinosaur. We end on the little girl's mother screaming without actually seeing what horrors the creatures have wrought. It's a classic horror movie trick. What we imagine is worse than anything he could have put on screen. We cut to Ian Malcolm taking a train to see Hammond and learn that he came out publicly about what happened on the island during the original movie, but he's suffering something of a credibility issue. The island was isolated. The only people who believe him are conspiracy theorists and tinfoil hat-wearing basement dwellers. He can't get a job. He's been fired from everything. I really like this. It's a bit unbelievable considering how many people worked at the park, but on the other hand, none of them were on the island when the first movie happened. InGen is a pretty powerful company too. They can make dinosaurs. If I were employed by them, I might think twice about violating a non-disclosure, even if the deaths and injuries rendered it void. They made dinosaurs. Who's to say they couldn't make some unimaginable horror to stick on you? We get a cameo of Lex and Tim. It's nice to see them back. We are introduced to our bad guy, the head of InGen, Ludlow. InGen wants to recoup their losses on the park. I get it. You made dinosaurs. All those employees, all that science, all those live animals you had to feed and nurture and contain, well, they spared no expense. Malcolm meets with John Hammond, who is trying to recruit him to go to a different island, Site B. Hammond wants to document the dinosaurs who have survived to show they should be allowed to live in peace. Malcolm refuses. All strong so far. Malcolm is only convinced to go when he finds out his girlfriend Sarah is already there. And he doesn't go to help. He's going to bring her back because he knows how dangerous it is. If you followed along so far, I have no complaints. This is strong storytelling. It builds on all the returning characters. Malcolm has learned. Malcolm is a changed man from the last movie. The events had an impact on him. In Hammond's case, he's 2 steps ahead, just as manipulative as he was before. Has he learned or not? Despite the conversation with Ellie Sadler about the illusion of control, Hammond has shifted from trying to control the dinosaurs to trying to control InGen. The movie clips along. We get a rundown of equipment and the plan. The boat drops them off with a dire warning. We meet Vince Vaughn's Nick, who is an overlooked character in this, but is probably one of the best parts of the movie. They find Sarah, a wildlife photographer. We have a beautiful, majestic scene of Stegosauri. Sarah's attacked when she gets too close to a young Stegosaurus. There's a great moment when Richard Schiff's Eddie is pointing a tranq gun at the dinosaurs but doesn't shoot with the line they're just protecting their baby. It's touching, a nice soft side to him and Malcolm's team, and strong foreshadowing for the events about to come. InGen shows up and man do they make you hate them. They roar in and start knocking out dinosaurs pretty violently. We get some great shots of the Pachycephalosaurus headbutting a guy through a truck. Another great shot is the dirt bike weaving in between the legs of the Brachiosaur. These InGen guys are disgusting. Okay, so jumping forward to get the baby T-Rex. Sarah and Nick are trying to set its broken leg. If you listen, you actually hear the reason why. It has to do with where the break is, and that improper healing will mean it can't pivot on the ankle, which will mean it won't be able to avoid predators or hunt as well. I don't know if that's a thing or not, but I like that they made the effort. No, that's up by his thigh. His ankle would be down here. At this point in time, Eddie, Ian, and Kelly, Ian's stowaway daughter, are up in the high hide, which is a platform suspended high up in the trees. And wow, finally, a piece of technology that actually works. The only problem is that everyone keeps leaving it. T-Rex is attacked to save the baby. It's awesome. There's some scarring details on the two adults, so it wasn't just a copy-paste job. Then they come back for revenge. The RV cliff scene is intense and terrifying. Even worse, Eddie having to do everything to save them is so great. Just when you think he's got the edge, he gets ripped in half in one of the more visceral dino kills we've seen. The scene where Dieter is chased by the
Compsognathus.
The camera is low and bouncing as if you're part of the swarm. It's great. The T-Rex's attack on the camp is another one of those intense sequences. A dude gets stepped on and sticks to the foot a few steps. We get to this point where three of our main characters and the paleontologist from the InGen team are hiding in the waterfall while the T-Rex sticks his head through the water. I think there are two camps here. You either appreciate snake down the shirt scene or you don't. The paleontologist is so afraid of the snake that he runs into the jaws of the waiting dinosaur, and it's sort of tragic irony. Then we come to probably the best scene in the movie. The velociraptors in the long grass. This is another delicious irony. The viewer knows what the raptors are capable of. Now, don't forget in the original Jurassic Park, Malcolm never dealt with the raptors. He doesn't understand how smart they are. There are parts of Malcolm's confrontation with the raptors that are pretty funny. When they fight amongst themselves, when they just crash through things, these aren't those door-opening raptors. These are the wild ones. Then this is where everything falls off the rails. The living escape, but it turns out that one of the T-Rexes was taken down and is being sent to San Diego. This is really what the movie has been telling us they're going to do for the whole time. We all know it is a bad idea. Even when the dinosaurs were contained on an island, they still were able to wreak havoc on the human population. There's no reason for Malcolm and Sarah to be at the wharf in San Diego. I love the boat crash, though. With the T-Rex running around in San Diego, a heavily populated area, Malcolm ultimately gets his redemption for telling the truth. Everyone sees that he wasn't lying. InGen really did create an island of dinosaurs. So, what have we learned about sequels? I don't know. For every great sequel, there are a dozen bad ones. There doesn't seem to be a set formula either. Should a sequel show character growth, or do the characters have to stay the same? How much needs to be new? What concepts need to be explored? The Lost World Jurassic Park seems to gloss over the weightier philosophies that were important in the first movie. When the people were dying, Hammond was eating ice cream talking about a flea circus. Even the game warden in the first one makes excellent points, saying they should all be destroyed. We went from a simple movie debating the ramifications of playing God to a popcorn flick where a guy ends up as Dino Toe Jam. The Lost World abandoned their thesis too quickly. It's entertaining, but the meat is missing. Finally, perhaps the most delicious irony is that InGen went to capture the dinosaurs in a mindless cash grab and were saddled with an even bigger financial disaster, while The Lost World was greenlit as a mindless cash grab and forever tarnished the reputation of a franchise. Join me next time for anything nice to say, and never be ashamed to like what you like. I don't know how accurate this toy is. Hi. Be sure to like, share, subscribe, tell a friend, tell an enemy, leave a comment below about what you thought about the Lost World Jurassic Park, and check out more episodes of Anything Nice to Say. You can also support the show by heading over to our Patreon or checking out our merch store.